Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. And today I want to speak a little bit about ergonomics and sort of elite and high-end technique for picking. So I know a lot of you play guitar, you wouldn't be here, and if you play guitar, I'm sure that you have your fair share of issues with these things. This is called a plectra, or a pick, and basically it's probably the most difficult thing we have to face in playing this instrument. So what I want to talk about today is some really cool things that I've come up with ergonomically in picking. If any of you that know me know that I have a lot of unique techniques and unique things I do, both on keyboards, piano, and on guitar, for that matter. But today I want to just get through this sort of, this sort of difficult job of picking in an accurate and fast and accurate style or manner. We're going to start by talking about the physics behind this process, and of course it starts with two things. We have the pick, or the plectra, and we have the strings, the string plane, which we pick on with the plectra. And I'm going to start by talking to you a little bit about the strings. I don't know that many people notice some of these details, so it's good that we take them each step by step. If you take a look at the picking plane, which is here, as you see that plane, you can see there's a gap in here. I'm reaching through and touching. You have your pickups here. Now, picking in these different regions gives you a difference in tone, obviously. But I want to just forget about the tone or the timbre for a moment and focus on the best way to most accurately pick the instrument. So that's first today, because without that, we don't have any fixed point of reference from which we start. You'll notice that on different guitars, there's a different arc here on strings, and this one, it's not so much. I prefer generally less arc on an electric guitar. On a classical guitar, generally there's not so much. But if I were to argue, I'd say I'd rather have less arc on an electric guitar than they generally put on them. So when I choose an instrument, sometimes I look at the the neck and the arc and the radius here. But anyway, to get to the point, one thing that you want to notice right out of the gate is your strings. They have a nice place where they sit. But every time you play them, if you play up the neck more, let's just take this high E string here. If I'm playing here, it has little effect on the string. But as I move higher in the neck, see, you can see the string actually sinks down more. It's easier to see on this string, I think. See? Down here, nothing. Up here, it sinks down. The reason I'm bringing up this point is because when I pick, I generally don't even pass through the strings this way, because that means I have to jump over to get to the next string. I have to get over that string. And that's the most difficult thing about playing a guitar, if you use a pick, is that. Now another thing, that's the strings I was talking about. I use a pick, this wonderful company called Gravity Picks, and I'm endorsed by this company. These picks are marvelous. But for me, I like my pick to come to a very sharp point. This one's wore down a little bit from playing. And if you look at the thickness, it's a 6mm pick. So I like a thick pick, and it's polished, hard plastic, so it will add some tones and like high-end noise to the strings as you play it when you use it more than most other picks would. But I tend to use that to my advantage. Now, so we have the pick and the string plane of the guitar. If I pick here, if you remember, I showed you how the strings sink down when you play them. That means you have to reach for that string more. Obviously, most cases you're picking the string that you're also holding on the fretboard. So if you want to get away from that, the string sinks down here more. Up here, you have less of that by your bridge, and the string won't sink as much. So if you pick here, you're going to get a more trebly sound, but it's not going to be so much difference, because everything we do in music and making things sound good is about economy and motion. How little movement can we get away with to achieve our result? So here, when I'm picking, I'm staying generally on the top half. If the guitar's laying flat like this, I'm staying on the top half of the string. So that, and even more so sometimes. So I'm just going across the top of that string. There's several things that this helps with. One is, when I'm there, I don't have to get out to get over another string. I don't have to lift up as much. The other thing is that it doesn't slow my pick pattern down as I'm picking. So those two things are quite important. So next, if I come in here and I'm pressing the string here with my left hand, then I have to reach in further for that string. All right. Now there's a lot of pick techniques on the internet. I've looked at as many as I can kind of find, but truthfully, I haven't found any that I agree with 100%. But I think you'll see bits and pieces of this in some technique exercises and technique clinics that you'll see on YouTube, on the internet. But for me, this is a very, starting with picking the string, where I'm picking the string. It's more trebly here, and it becomes more bassy as we get in toward the fretboard. But the most important thing is how we start our alternate picking pattern. A lot of people will anchor this way and they'll use their fingers and whatnot, and that's all fine if you're trying to get certain tones out of the guitar. But the first thing about picking that I teach is you take the pick in your hand and you lay it in your finger like this, put your thumb on it, and it becomes an extension of your fingers in your hand. But everything is driven from the elbow in good picking technique. So the first technique that you practice is just picking from the elbow, very small strokes, just touching on the very top of the string, not sinking in, and coming from your elbow. And you just do it on each string a little bit to get a feel. Each one feels different. Now once you get that nice even technique down, you can go very fast with it. You have the problem left of getting over a string skip. Eric Johnson does them a lot. See, where you have to jump over these strings and still keep it clean. You don't want to bump or nick the string that's supposed to be silent. That's by far one of the most important things of all. So, the way I achieve that in picking technique is like this, and I've not seen this anywhere, but it works like magic. There is a guy on the internet that talks about angling your pick if you're going a certain direction. So So if you're going down from the E string or up from the E string to the high E string and you're hitting twice, what you're doing is angling the pick this way so that you're, as you're picking the string, your pick is up so it lifts over that string it just hit. See, if you do it without lifting the pick, and you want to avoid that. So the way to avoid that, according to, they don't bring any names up at all, but I've seen these courses on the internet where you angle this way if you're going like 2 strokes on a string, you angle this way and pick over the string. Or if you're going to be going 3 strokes, you angle the other way to keep from doing this. See? So you're going to angle to get over the string. But to be more in sync or synchronicity with alternate picking, this is the way I've developed a picking technique, and it's fabulous and very clean. Takes a little bit of doing. You start by using this elbow and just little micro twitches. Very controlled though. It can't be a spastic twitch. It has to be controlled so you can keep good timing with the left hand. Because this pick has to hit at the same exact time that your left hand finger engages the string on the fret. Now, the way I do it is I have this elbow thing going on, but if I exaggerate the way I pick, I have a rocking going on with my right hand. Now, if I'm alternate picking and I rock both ways, it doesn't matter where I go. My pick is always in the right position to get over the next string. Let me show you an example. And I'm exaggerating the rocking and minimalizing the elbow motion to demonstrate this. And as long as you rock with the pick, you generally, what I do is I'll rock out when I'm downstroke and up when I'm upstroke, and that works better with me. Better than rocking up for a downstroke and the other way. You want to make sure your rock is this way, unless you're trying to get a weird sound or technique. You rock this way for a downstroke and this way for an upstroke. So your down, up includes the rock. If you have that little rocking motion in there, doesn't matter where you go on the guitar, you're not going to hit any extra strings, and you can play very, very fast. And I'm not sinking into the guitar this way. I'm staying right on top of the strings, like I was trying to walk on water, and keep the picking to a minimum. And the same thing with your left hand. You keep it nice. So, anyway, I hope this helps. I think you'll find if you work on this technique, it's going to do marvelous things for your playing and your accuracy, and you'll find that over short periods of time, your efficiency is going to go way up and things will be much easier to play. Anyway, until next time, thanks, and God bless everyone. Have a great day.